Okay, then we can start our little shaky burning with what's the name of the band?
Stereophonics.
Yeah, what's the name of the song?
Graffiti on the Train.
Yeah, Graffiti on the Train. So let's have a look at it. You can tell me about the band, because I have no idea who they are. Really?
Actually, I to tell you the truth, so I came up with a song while I was just driving 2 weeks ago, because to tell you the truth, I haven't listened to the band at all, so I knew that they existed. But then it was something, like something really beautiful just to my ears, and just, like corresponded with the landscape, with the activity that I was doing. And just, the idea that graffiti on the train, like, and, this feeling of movement, going just somewhere, just calls me, I would say. And that's why I don't know a lot about the band, to tell you the truth. And I haven't just given it a look. That's
okay. So maybe we don't have to. Maybe we don't have to, because we look at the song, which is it doesn't belong to some one place and time, really. Some bigger ideas in it. Okay, let's read it. Let's see it. Oh, the graffiti on the train. They start in a crying voice, kind of like, we are going to tell you a very sad story. Get ready for it. Oh, the graffiti on the train. Oh no. Roll into her life. Oh, the graffiti on the train. Oh! Stepped outside, he left his lover sleeping. Rain falls, he's drowning in his secret. Wet streets are quiet as a church hall. Last house, where children kick the football. Crossroads, his heart is beating faster. Getting close to asking her the question. Marry me, he wants to paint the words on. The night train, he's hiding with his spray cans. And that is going to ride. When the paint is done and dried, oh, come on. Oh, the graffiti on the train. Oh, the graffiti on the train. Oh, she'll never be the same. Oh, no. Roll into her life. Oh, the graffiti on the train. Oh. Day breaks as lovely as she wakes up, sips her cup and does her face and makeup. Black phone, she hears the people whisper. Someone died. Themselves, train has slipped up. Train comes a coach she's always used to. The door's red. Marry me, I love you. Heart stops, ecstatic and suspicious. She makes the call, but he don't pick the phone up. The train sped down the line. It was the last train he would ride. Oh no! Oh, the graffiti. Okay, what can you tell me about this little thing?
No, it looks like, on the one hand, I think there's like a proposal, because it's like marry me and all this stuff, and just the second thought that comes to my mind is about life and death, of course, and the third thing is about the just possibility of, like, again, just the not happy ending. And so that life goes on, because trains are usually, they are supposed just to run across from point A to point B, and just the road or the distance that they cover. So it might be like metaphors to different things, like our lifetime, whatever.
Okay. Yeah. So, anything interesting you notice about the way it's written? Any interesting anything, words or sounds or images or ideas?
You know,
I don't know.
the first chorus, made me think a little bit about a scary story. You know, like something, I don't know, November, you know, trees without leaves, so gloomy morning, just night, you know, this blue and black, I would say, colors, and just the moon in the sky, in the night sky, something like this. You know, like a haunted city or just a haunted train.
Yeah, because it's well, it's not at night, but
It's not at night. It's just mine. Just my picture. And just the night tree he's hiding with. So the word night we see here. And spray cans. Yeah. In general, my attitude is personal to graffiti or graffiti. Is actually, I believe it is a kind of an art, but I can't say that I love it when, you know, when it's like, when it's like everywhere. So sometimes I think that.
So is graffiti a kind of art?
I think yes, because actually, so if it wasn't, so everybody could do it, but you know, like graffiti. Oh, so it takes, I would say, requires some skills and just some practice and a special vision, because when it's a good graffiti, I would say, it takes you time just to get inside.
Well, like any good art. Yeah. Like any good art. You have to practice a little bit. Okay, so what is he going to do? So what do we have? We have the setting and we have some heroes in it. So who are the heroes?
So there is a man and a woman.
And the train.
So in a train, yeah. So like, yeah.
Okay, so what can we say about these people, first of all?
That someone just like a woman, she has her life, but to my mind it's just not very active, or there's something bad is going on. And what else? So to my mind she's quite young. She has her life, like sits up and does her face and so on. That's just she's lovely.
Okay, what kind of a person is a man?
Pathetic. I don't know why. To my mind, he's pathetic. And pathetic and struggling. It's just impressions, no?
Okay, maybe he's romantic, maybe he's not very practical, maybe he doesn't think things through. Because he wants to make a surprise with marry you, and he knows this girl well because he knows which coach stops in front of her. He knows where it is. He knows how to get there, how to find it. Well, he does that right, but he doesn't think it through, or maybe you can say it's a tragic accident. Okay, and we have the train, and the train is very interesting and important because usually when we talk about trains in literature, in art, then what is it usually? And here as well, in some way. The image of a train.
Which carries something away, somebody or something away from you. So it's like, you know, that brings maybe unhappiness to your life.
Well, not necessarily, but I guess usually.
Not necessarily, no.
Usually trains are a lifetime, because you're a passenger on the train of life. And you don't have much control because the train goes where it goes, and eventually you have to leave it. Yeah. And the idea of life as a road and life as a railroad, It's quite common image, and it's sensible. It's sensible, and because you have different people on the train who get there by some kind of fate or whatever you call it. They don't know each other, but they're there together for the short time of the trip, and you can kind of see how it relates to the idea of life. But here, apart from train being in association with life because it brings him death, but it's a bit different because he is not a passenger on the train. He comes to. Mm-hmm.
No, I see here. Because he's like outside. He's like an onlooker.
Mm-hmm. And in this case, I think the idea of this image of a train is a bit different. So in this case, a train is a big machine which can kill you because it's big. It doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
And
but it's a piece of paper now in your camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see
yeah. It slides a little bit
okay.
because there's a kind of some light which starts shining when the camera is on, and it shines into my eye. It's horrible.
Yeah, no, you can just bring it back. I mean, just it was okay, but maybe the cat.
Yeah, sometimes it just slides a little bit, especially when cats are jumping around.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, so
in this case, this is like a big machine that can kill you.
Yeah, so it's like a big machine that can kill you. And so, and what is he going to do, and what he does, the Graffiti? What's the idea of Graffiti? In real life, in general, why do people do Graffiti?
Maybe to send a message and just to attract people attention to something.
Yeah, well, why don't they do it in like more a civilized way? Because what they do from the system's point of view, from many people's point of view, is they spoil what doesn't belong to them. They damage it. Even if it's a good graffiti, still they use walls. Some people use trains, which I believe is not the best idea.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So maybe in this case we can see feelings, love, humanness, yeah, because he's in love, and his expression of his feelings. It's a cat. It's a big cat who's very jealous.
Okay, yeah.
And we have this system which is a big train, which again, it just goes where it goes. It doesn't care if you're in the way. And he's trying to kind of change it, interrupt all this system with his love, but he just dies, really. Maybe that's it.
Actually, why not?
Yeah, because trains are quite interesting. On one hand, a train is very good. It can get you to your destination nice and safe and fast. Because there aren't many train crashes. It's a very safe kind of transport. But if you're outside and say you stand near the railway and the trains past you, you can feel how really it's very big, very dangerous. Very dangerous, very heavy, very fast. It can kill you in an instant without noticing.
But usually when it happens, quite often I have a feeling that I would like to be inside and to go to a new place or to some place, doesn't matter, for a long short period of time. But the idea of just seeing something new and maybe some new things in your life just can be quite capturing.
Yeah, so it's one thing if you're on the train, you're inside it, and another thing if you're outside the train. Yeah, so maybe the same with the system It's nice and safe for you to be inside the system. Maybe it's not very convenient because you can't control where it's going. It just takes you where it takes you. Yeah, but you can do it. You can be the passenger, or you can rebel. And if you're a rebel, then that's another cat.
I love cats. No,
I love
so
cats.
easy for me.
That's why I have
Yeah.
cats, because I love cats. On another hand, if you're rebelling, you're outside, and then it might be dangerous for you, but you have your personality, you can express yourself even if you die. So maybe that's the choice people make, maybe. And you don't have to die in the end, you just have to be a bit more careful. Oh dear, it disappeared. Skypey Wipey, don't go away. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Skypey Wipey, get back. Wiping. Bad connection. Oh dear, 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 dear. Oops. Yeah, so it was just some kind of bad connection.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so anyway, maybe if you're rebelling, it's a bit more dangerous for you, but if you play it right, then it'll be okay, because not everybody dies on the train because when they're trying to do some graffiti. Yeah, it's just his personal bad luck. Okay, so let's have a look. So we start with the main image, graffiti on the train. So we have graffiti, which is kind of the wild side, the rebelling side, and the train, which is like property, the machine, cold and feeling, in this case. Roll into her life. Ha ha ha. Because trains are rolling and a person can roll into someone's life. And graffiti roll into her life. When we start reading, we don't know what it means. What does it mean? We don't know.
Yeah.
We only find out by the end of the song. Okay.
Yeah, roll into the life, yeah, so it's really strange, because when you really imagine that you are outside and the train really is rolling into, I don't know, it's when it's rolled past you, it's really scary actually, because just, yeah, trains are huge, just making lots of noise, so heavy, and that's it. So actually, like, it might be like a threat into your life, like a threat to your life. Does it roll into her life, bringing what actually? My question, so bringing what? So positive, negative things, so good luck, bad luck, actually what?
So what I like about it is the composition, because it's breaking in kind of little bits, and maybe it's like the train rolling. Stepped outside, he left his lover sleeping. Rain falls, he's drowning in his secret. Wet streets, quiet as a church hall. Maybe it's like the train rolling.
Oh, it's like the rhythm of a going train.
I've just realized, really.
Oh, yeah. And you know, just the following line, if we go just, this is the second piece, like, stepped outside, he left, his lover sleeping. Left where?
Yeah, he left, he went out to do his little surprise. Yeah. So stepped outside.
that he might be living in a house like in the city, because we see there just a church hall, just children, like maybe a little lost house, and just he stepped out of their place, and at the same time, so the house is next to the railroad. Yeah, and it's like two pictures.
We don't know if it's near or if it's far away.
Yeah, or just as okay.
Yeah, we just kind of know. So I like the rhythm. So the first I was just reading the lyrics. And I noticed, that's interesting. Then you listen to the song, and yeah, that's what they do. And then you realize, like, then maybe it's the sound of the train, actually. So yeah, the first words about him is stepped outside, which is of course very important, very big, because, well, when you step outside, you leave your normal space, then something strange may happen to you. And step outside what? Where?
Yeah, this is the question. So out of his place, maybe just his house, his flat, where he lives, and he just maybe his lover sleeping there. There is just somebody else, and just they live together. Or yeah, and just if we read just further, so they are, to my mind, so in a kind of a small town, because there is just a church, as I said, and just some other people like children. Yeah, but where are the adults? My usual question. And that's capable. Okay. So where, why, and maybe just, maybe, and what if he steps outside the train? Because when trains...
No, we know, because he left his lover sleeping.
Yeah.
So we can see they were together. He was with his lover. And stepped outside, he left his lover sleeping. And when you hear that, then you're like, is he an evil person who leaves the girl alone and he just runs away from her while she's asleep, never to come back? And in a way, it is so. He really never comes back, but for some other reasons. So yeah. Anyway, he steps outside from the very, very comfortable spaces. It's a house or a flat, which is a safe place, where his lover is asleep. She's asleep means, again, it's very safe for her. She can sleep there. She's relaxed. And we have the word lover. She loves him. He loves her, maybe. We don't know yet. And for some reason, he's going to leave this super nice place. And immediately you ask yourself, why? Rain falls. He's drawing in his secret. So we have rain, which is, again, on one hand it's big space, because when you think about rain, you think about big space, so the rain falls. At the same time, we have this romantic atmosphere, because rain, it's so romantic, so nice. What do you think about rain?
Just my attitude. It depends on the place and the situation of the day, because just if it's like a summer rain, to me it's okay. But if it's like autumn, it makes me feel, worried. Because just to my mind, just water falling from the sky, when you can get wet, it's not something positive. That's why I'm not very fond of rain in general. In summer, it's okay because sometimes it brings us, this pleasant, break from sometimes heat, and I know that nature in general needs it, but so the idea of being the rain when it's much colder, not the thing. And rain just sometimes it scares me, especially at night. So to my ear, it's nice out, but it's not comforting, I would say.
We have the word falls, rain falls. He's droning. in his secret. What is his secret? He's an evil person and he doesn't love the girl and he's going to run away. Or what is it? Why would you want to leave your love and go out in the rain? Very strange. So we have this mystery around this person. Yeah. We have secrets, sneaking out. Wet streets are quiet as a church hall. So we have the stress on rain, on it being wet. And again, it's quite clever, because when we read it, we don't think about it. We just think, it's for a nice, romantic, mysterious atmosphere, because if it's rain, it's a bit mysterious as well. But later we realize that the rain, the wetness, made the streets slippery, and that's why he slipped and got under the train. So it's not like an incident, it's not random, it's a very important detail. Because you can't plan everything. And in his case, he didn't think that the rain would make it slippery. Quiet as a church hall. So why would we compare streets with church hall?
Because it's also kind of a way to the altar. So anywhere you go, yeah, so you go down.
So where do we have a church hall?
Usually, so it's clear. So it's about like death ceremony. So when it's time to say eulogies and to say goodbye to your dead person.
Well, not necessarily. You don't necessarily think about death and funeral when you think about churches, and we don't know what's going on here yet. So the church can as well be a place for the wedding.
Yeah, could be.
But it's empty. Just now it's empty. So again, it's all in waiting. He's there, he came, but no one else is there yet. Quiet as a church hall. And when is a church hall quiet? Why would you say quiet as a church hall? Because if it's some ceremony, if it's the service, that it's not quiet because you can hear the service itself. People are silent because they listen to the prayers, but the church hall itself isn't silent. So it's silent when it's empty, when it's between the services. And then again you have to think about European churches, not Russian churches, which are Gothic churches, cathedrals, which have this nice echo, very nice sounds in it. So you can kind of imagine yourself walking across an empty church hall, a big Gothic church hall, and you can hear your steps echoing. So again we have this big empty space, and it's kind of a sacred space because we mentioned churches. Last house. So again we're kind of getting closer and closer to the heart of the story. So first you leave your comfortable place with your lover, you go outside in the rain, you cross this space, and then you have the last house. Yeah, you're coming.
So you're kind of leaving your town, right? You're going like further and further.
Yeah. So that was like the last turning point. After that, there's no return. It's the last house, the last human thing in it. Where children kick the football. That's a bit strange. Why is it strange?
because he pays attention to such just general, just a detail, but he's focused on it. And there's another symbolic meaning of the football.
Is there?
I don't know.
I don't know. But I think it's a bit strange that children are kicking football first when it's raining, and second, it's apparently it's quite late.
Yeah.
Because the girl is asleep, the streets are empty. Maybe she was asleep in the day. Some people sleep during the day, but why would the streets be empty? The rain doesn't stop people. So it's a bit strange. But maybe as it's the last point of normality, so we have the house, we have children playing, and children are like future, life, playing game, being active, as opposed to dead people who are not very active, let's be honest. Maybe. And maybe kick the football is a bit aggressive, not play football, but kick football. And you may even tell yourself that, like, oh, maybe it's a little bit like kick the bucket idiom, which means to die. Maybe, but we don't really think about it. We may kind of recreate it afterwards when we know the story. Okay. And crossroads. So we have all those symbols, and again, when you just listen to it, you may not think about it. It's just like, okay, just a normal landscape, just a normal cityscape. We have houses, we have crossroads, but if you look closely, then every detail is very big, very meaningful. Yeah?
Yeah, and crossroads, this is also kind of a point, right? Or even the point when you need to make your decision and to choose what to do next. And so we remember that it's also quite symbolic, just like maybe there are 3 roads, crossroads there are 4 roads, and just those things depends on you. And what to do, and his heart is beating faster, yeah, it's clear just why.
Yeah, so why? Because he's going to do something. So, do you often go out and just put some graffiti on the wall?
No, it's hard to imagine.
Yeah, so apparently he hasn't ever done it before. Maybe he's a very nice guy, so he's worried, he's nervous, because if he was just a hooligan who did it every other night, he'd be like, it's not a problem, I'll just do it again. He would be quite calm. Well, his heart is beating fast because on first, 2 things at least. One, he's going to do something illegal, and that bothers him. But why is he going to do it? Because of his feelings. So his feelings are so big that they're more important than crossing the legal line a little bit. Yeah, because nobody gets hurt, but you kind of spoil someone's property. But he feels like it would be a good surprise for the girl. And what is he going to do? He's going to say, marry me. Yeah, getting close to asking her the question, marry me, he wants to paint the words on the night train. So getting close, on one hand getting close to the train, and on another hand, what's more important to him is not that he's going to do something a bit questionable, but that he's going to ask her, marry me. So he worries about that more, because what if she says no? What if she says no? It will be a big blow to him. He wants to paint the words on the night train. So again, you may say, why not just ask her? Why come to all this trouble? Why get to the trouble of going out in the night with a spray can? Why not just ask her?
Sometimes it's difficult, sometimes just we know that we want to try something extraordinary and just to check how strong just we are. Yeah, or maybe just to do. Yeah, so actually that's what I think.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, apparently he has a nice imagination, he's romantic, he can feel it. He wants to paint the words on the night train. Maybe it's easier for him to do all that than just come and ask her, because it's easier to write than to speak. Okay. The night train. So now we have the word night. Kind of suspected it was night, but children playing football was a bit out of context. Maybe. He's hiding with his spray cans. So again, he knows it's not quite right, so he is hiding. He has his spray cans, he's ready. That's going to write when the paint is done and dried. Oh, come on. So he can see it in his mind, how he's already done it, and the paint gets dried, and the train goes, and the girl can see it. So he gets closer and closer and closer in this first part, crossing more and more lines, being very determined, and now he's there, and he did it. And it looks like everything's okay. The mission is done. So maybe it's a bit funny, or maybe it's sad. Maybe his mission was to put the graffiti on the train, and he did it. He succeeded, but he forgot that the second part of the mission was to actually get back alive.
Yeah, because who thinks about death in general? So look, I mean, just when maybe you're going to make such an important step like marry someone, and just it can be like a turning point of your life. So I doubt that this person just will think about some negative outcomes, or just he or she will die. So usually you're focused on the bright side of the story.
Literally the bright side, with the colors.
Yeah, the colors, the movement, the life. So the stuff that you have to make, because without making them, so without like turning your road on the crossing road, so you can't move forward. And that's why, so maybe it was just even the thought about like being dead might seem quite ridiculous. So that's why, so why he would think about that he has to come alive. He's sure about this, that everything will be fine.
Yeah, we all hope it will be fine. We all do.
Yeah, so.
And so we have this little break, the chorus, oh, the graffiti on the train. So some time passes, apparently. So then we see the next morning. And does it say morning comes? No, it doesn't. What does it say?
That she will never be the same.
Yeah, that's a part of the chorus.
Yeah.
It says day breaks.
Day breaks, as long as she wakes up.
So we have all these words like rain falls, day breaks. Yeah, and while normally it's just an expression, the day breaks, the sun comes out, it's okay. But here we have all those little words stuck together.
And day breaks like I don't know. You can break something like a part of your body, and the day breaks maybe because just she was told what happened.
No, she doesn't know yet.
She doesn't know yet.
She wakes up, and again that's the drama. She wakes up. Her thoughts, her reality is still unupdated, let's say. And she's quite happy because she thinks, in her reality, because she doesn't know the news, she thinks she has someone who loves her, who's going to ask her to marry him. I don't think it's a big secret for her. So day breaks as lovely as she wakes up. So we have word lovely, she wakes up, she sips her cup, dusts her face in makeup. Again, what kind of actions are these?
Like routine, I would say.
Yeah, so
like
she doesn't know, she doesn't care, she's not worried. Sips her cup, again, takes a little sip. Not drinking a gallon of tea. Just a little sip. So she is. What impression does she make? This girl.
But she is not in a hurry, not in a rush. She takes her time.
Maybe a lovely little thing, because we have the word lovely. Sips elegantly. Dusts her face in makeup. That's a funny little detail again. Because dusting.
Yeah, dusting is something just light. It's not like food or a fly. It's dust.
Just a little bit. And then we have dust, of course. We know the context after we finish reading or listening. We know that he is dead. He is dust now. And she is dusting her face without knowing it. Yeah? In makeup. So she makes herself pretty, but not in a heavy way, not in an obsessive way, just a little bit. Black phone. If it's black, then it's something important. Black phone. She hears the people whisper. So again, it's little bits. It's coming in little bits. It's not like she goes out and someone tells her, "Oh, your boy, you know, he's dead." It's not like that. She can hear something. Well, she doesn't know exactly because it just whispers. Is it true? Is it not true? What is it about? Did I hear it right? Just something happens. Well, if you hear people whisper again, maybe you can ignore it. Maybe you can say, "Oh, okay, it just whispers." Someone died themselves. Train has slipped up. Yeah, again, a bit strange. Why would you say someone died of themselves? Like in an accident? Or do they think it was a suicide?
Yeah, but this is kind of a I don't know contradiction, because if you slipped up, this is like can be by chance. So this is like a destiny, fortune, just whatever. So out of the blue. Yeah, because you know when you trip, when you sleep, so who knows? And then when you die themselves, it's like you take their life, and then the picture is different. So there is an intention, and to do something intentionally unintentionally. And this is within one line without any just signs, even punctuation signs, what to just what.
So she can hear just a word here, a word there. Then she hears something. Someone died. Then she can hear the word themselves. Then she can hear the word train. Then has slipped up. Yeah. So it's like different parts of different whispers.
Okay.
So So she has some little information, but she doesn't
Indeed.
know what it means, if it's reliable, if it's accurate. But we know, because we know he went to the train with his spray cans. We know it was wet and slippery. Train comes. The coach is always used to. So she follows her routine. She always takes the same coach. It's always the same train. And she doesn't try to fight it. She's comfortable with it. Why would you try and like look for another coach each time if that's a coach that's comfortable for you? Yeah. And maybe that's why she's alive in this song, because she's friends with the system. Maybe. But she's not happy. She's alive, but she's not happy in the end. And the doors read, "Marry me, I love you." So imagine a train stops in front of you and the doors say, "Marry me, I love you." How would you feel?
It's very special, I would say, to someone.
So it doesn't have any names.
No, but it means that this person knows for sure that this is for me. Or maybe you can, if you know that it's not for you, just usually such things can make people, smile and be like, to see that that positive can happen, something positive or something good can happen in someone's life, and you can feel, so jealous in a positive way, right? Or maybe happy for someone. Anyway, so it gives you something good, I would say.
So anyway, it's a public place, a very public place, and she knows immediately it's for her, not for any number of other people. Because it's not the only station, she's not the only passenger. But maybe she recognizes the handwriting, and she knows he's about to ask her to marry him, and she knows that he knows that she uses this coach, so she can put two and two together. But at the same time, it's not him. Are you there? Oh dear. Oh dear, what's wrong with you, Skype? What's wrong with you today? What's wrong? What I have is a one big white screen, and now I can see a bit of your face, but I couldn't see any of the buttons, so I just had to move my mouse around until I kind of stumbled into buttons. Oh dear.
Yeah, we can just restart it once again, and just maybe sometimes we need to, I don't know, to not update it, but to shut it down and to reopen.
Yeah, let's just try and continue while I can hear you and you can hear me.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So anyway, "Marry Me, I Love You."
Marry Me, I Love You.
Yeah, on one hand he writes "Marry Me, I Love You," but in the end it's kind of like the train or the system says, "Marry me, I love you." Because it's written on the train, so it's the train who says it in a way. Because the train kills the man and takes the man's message.
Okay, sounds scary.
Yeah, of course, it is a very scary song. It's a scary song about a man who's about feelings, real human feelings, trying to fight a big machine system and failing, and the system taking his place. In a way. So hard stops, exotic, and suspicious. So again, she's been expecting it. She's ready to say yes. She knows, she suspects it's him, yeah, suspecting. Like, who could it be? Of course it's him, it's for me. And she is right, but she makes a call, but he doesn't pick the phone up. They say don't, I guess, because it's more rhythmical. But he don't pick the phone up. So we have lots of up here. Wakes up, makeup, slept up, now phone up. Yeah, interesting. And again, she doesn't know yet, but maybe she's beginning to realize what's happening. Because she heard that someone died on the train, and now she can see this graffiti, and he doesn't answer the phone.
And again, as you've said before, like, she is able to like put two and two together. Yeah, figure out that it could be probably him, because it was a train. Yeah, it was the last train he would ride on. Oh no, sorry, and then just we realized that we understand that she realized that he's dead, right?
Yeah, so I guess we can see it from her point of view. So she makes the call, he doesn't pick the phone up, and the train sped down the line. Of course, speed down when you hear it. If you think about it, it's a bit, again, a strange expression, because on one hand we have the word speed, on the one hand down the line. So we're slowing down with the train. So again, it's about the pace of the story. We come into an end, to the full stop, and she comes to some sort of full stop. It was the last train. And of course we have last trains, like it's the last train today, don't miss your last train. But in his case it was the last train he would ride. And if you think about it, ride, does it mean that little bits of him are still somewhere there? Yuck. How would he ride the train if he slipped under it? A bit creepy. And of course then we have the chorus again.
It's the last train, wait a second. The last train that he would ride. Okay, I got it.
So no more trains for him.
Yeah, so that he used to take this train. And actually maybe just he realized that as far as I understand, she got inside the train.
Probably. Maybe he comes to her taking this train, and she meets him coming out from this coach. Maybe. So that's the story, and we kind of have little glimpses, and nothing is said directly. But it's quite obvious, and we kind of stop this story at the point which is the most dramatic, like the realization. So it's about the life and love being so, happiness being so fragile. So 1 minute you're very sure you have everything, you have love, you have someone who loves you, you have future ahead of you, he's going to marry you, you're going to start a family, and of course we live very much in the future as well as in the past, and sometimes this imaginary future is very real to us. Yeah. So what happens when life is interrupted.
Tragedy.
Yeah, very big tragedy. Cause
Just tragedy, and maybe this feeling of, being excluded out of life, like a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something, vacuum. Because just you know what you used to do, how you used to think of your past, and especially how you used to think about your future, and then just stop, right, and really like the kind of vacuum. So you can think of your past, but how difficult it becomes just to think about the future. And then there is a pause, like, some kind of break, and some kind of just time vacuum, and just all this in your head.
Yeah, and some people can take it quite lightly when their plans change, but of course when it's someone you love and he dies tragically, and in a very stupid way, let's face it, then of course it's much harder to take. So maybe it's in some way related to the present situation. Again, because many people find out that life is a bit unpredictable.
Yesterday, it's not just, it's very unpredictable. And yesterday I watched a film just called Fault in Our Stars, just which was very famous, but when it appeared on screen, I didn't watch it. And so closer to the end of it, so the mom of the main character said that, so I know how to live with pain. So I will live just, and I will after your death, but it will be life, of course, and just now, actually, we know how to live with pain. And it was just go back to the beginning, when we say that the train is a symbol of just a life, right? Like life, and just go further. And actually, this is also just the girl, right? So she will live further, she will live with this pain. But still, just life goes on, and the train goes down, and just keeps moving, right? So I also try to hope for the best.
Yeah, we all do hope for the best, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't be ready if something different happens.
Yeah.
As I say, hope for the best and be ready for the worst, and then you'll be alright, because if something bad happens, you're kind of ready for it, and if it doesn't happen, it makes you more happy, because it never happened.
But still, most scenarios are not so anxious, like, not so comforting, I would say. No, just with the happiness is okay, but in general, so to live. Yeah, I know what you see, and I agree with you, just absolutely. But it's so hard, to bring into life and to stick to these, not even ideas, but in this case, I would say so beliefs, and just the thing that you really think and just believe in.
Well, as they say, there will be another husband. There will be other husbands.
So, probably. But, yeah.
So, how do you feel about this whole story? Is it dramatic enough? Or is it not dramatic?
Yeah, it's not dramatic, and just because, it's dramatic. I would say that this is really tragedy. For both of them.
Yeah. What's the moral? What's the message? What's the idea?
Actually, keep doing, I would say.
Okay. Right. Anything else you have to say here?
Think? By the way, what do you think?
Oh, maybe just life is really unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. So if you want to do something, then at least do your best to prepare, to think things through. Because if you're going out to vandalize something, then the least you can do is to think about the weather. Yeah.
Yeah, so stay focused, right?
Yeah. Well, really, I think it's about feelings versus system, and how this song is a bit pessimistic because it says you can't beat the system will beat you if you try to bring a little bit of humanity into it. But I don't necessarily agree with this idea. It's just what the song says.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he failed, maybe someone else succeeds, maybe the girl wakes up as the day breaks. Maybe she wakes up and she can see like, oh, the train killed my man. Maybe it was his fault. But maybe it didn't have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Uh-huh.
Okay, any more questions?
No.
Okay, shall we finish?
Yeah, we can, I guess. But yeah, thanks. Really, I loved it.
Oh, I loved it too.
Sorry, just so the other one was so sad, but so real. Yeah, and I think that, you know, to my mind, I used to think like this, and I'm still thinking like this. That sometimes we really need not to be ready, but sometimes just to look right directly and to analyze your fears. You know, sometimes of course it doesn't help, but at least to my mind it lessens, you know, the degree of you being scared, being afraid, and so on. Because so do what you have to do, and just then we will see. Because you really don't know. So when you can sleep up, and when your life can, I don't know, just stops.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, because people think they're immortal. People think, oh, I will live to a very, very old age. Nothing can happen to me. It only happens to some other people, to some losers. But I'm a very careful person. It will never happen to me. And then a happy little brick comes to them.
Yeah, and just, you know, this idea of just getting older, right, of being old, I don't know, in different levels, like from physical, right, to your, just to my pages. It's also quite just scary, but actually it's really a part of our life. But I would say that we have forgotten, maybe we were forced to forget that it can happen, and actually we multiplied. I mean, the spheres, they were multiplied of just being dead and that the life can stop.
Well, there's a very simple way to put it. People, there is always something to be afraid of. There's always something to frighten you. That's the idea of the system. The system wants to frighten you in one way or another. You can see 1 minute people are really crazy about the virus thing, and they do crazy things because of it. Now people are crazy about the current situation. Again, they do crazy things about it. And some of them are reasonable things to do, but many other things are just panicking. Yeah. So if you remember that there are always scary things, and if you look back at it and you see how, well, actually nothing much really happened. The reaction was never adequate.
I see what you mean, and just for me, just actually, I would say I get it, yeah, and what you're saying, and yeah, but it was very just, but it was done, I would say, to the, let's say, quite a big part of humanity to be afraid of death and to forget that it exists, and it just
well, forgetting that the danger exists, of course, is not the answer, but I would say just react adequately.
Oh, it's very difficult to do. You know,
don't believe everything you see on the internet, because, you know, many people say, oh, I don't watch TV, I don't read newspapers, so I know all the truth. And at the same time, they just look at all those bloggers who can't open their mouth without saying something fake.
Yeah. Okay, so we think that it will be still, just hope is what we have, really.
Yeah.
And by the way, today the 30th 30th of September, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
so it is.
So it's just holiday, yeah?
Is it?
Yeah, so this is love, hope, and believe, and their mother Sophia, if I'm not mistaken. You remember. Вера, надежда, любовь today is.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah,
That brings
that's
you
good.
some hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you just for this discussion.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice to see you in little glimpses. Thank you, Skype, for being very helpful today.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I will text you then